What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from Hop Butcher for the World, and they're out of Chicago, Illinois, and this is their Still Undefeated. So they're calling this one a Mosaic, Simcoe and Citra-hopped Double IPA that comes in at 8% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is just over 1 month old. I'm going to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Chris, for this beer, so huge thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies he hooked me up with, and I'm really happy he sent this one my way because late last year, Hop Butcher sent me their Undefeated, which was basically this beer, but the IPA version, the 6.5% version. Now, they don't mention it here on the label, but on Instagram and on tap, they mentioned this one is brewed with a Phantasm. Now, Phantasm is a thiol kind of powder that is derived from Sauvignon Blanc grape skins, and it pretty much impacts the aroma of the beer. It gives it more of like a tropical fruit quality. As far as I know, it doesn't really impact the taste as much, but this, not this beer, but Undefeated was the first Phantasm beer that I actually enjoyed. More often than not, the Phantasm beer seems like the aroma is fantastic and then taste is a bit of a letdown. It didn't happen in that beer at all. So this beer excites me because it's the double IPA version of it, and I'm here for it. So we will crack it open and get it into the glass, see what we got going on here. And yeah, what I liked about that beer was it had a lot of fruit flavors like citrus, stone, tropical, but it lacked a bitterness, so I didn't go nuts over it. So I'm hoping this one has a little bit more bitterness or like maybe a firm dryness, something to break up the sweetness from all the malt, but you know, it comes off as a fruity sweetness, obviously with the hop character. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna pour this one all into the glass here. Did not look at tasting notes. We will look at the end, but like I said, I had the regular version, and it was just, again, a ton of different like fruity characteristics. So yeah, that has that milky, deep orange honey color. Hold it up to the light for sure. It's gonna look darker probably on camera than it actually is in person. Has about a half finger of this creamy off-white looking head. We'll try to swirl up here a little more. Yeah, it gets almost to a finger, but yeah, murky, turbid, can't see through it. And we have it in the Hop Butcher glass that I used last time because this is my favorite glass from them, and it's fantastic. So let's get a nose. Ooh, okay, so I was at first I was like, not getting much. I'm getting passion fruit, and I just had passion fruit like in the last month. Definitely passion fruit. Passion fruit, there is a lot of citrus, and I'm getting like lemon, lime, orange, tangerine, not grapefruit as much, but more of like an orange, lemon, lime thing. Now this has Mosaic, what is it? Mosaic, Simcoe, and Citra. Mosaic usually delivers like berry a lot of times. Simcoe, I usually get big peach, but also like a nice like dankness. Getting a little bit of that dankness here. Not really getting any berries. But yeah, there's citrus. There's definitely that passion fruit. Maybe a little bit of like a peachy pineapple thing going on. But I'll say this, I think the 6.5% version was a little bit more bombastic and a little bit more intense and aromatic, just in general. I'm not that I'm not getting a lot here, it's just not as intense as I would think, especially a Phantasm. But I can't get over that passion fruit. Well, I think it's passion fruit. It smells awesome, and I don't get passion fruit a ton in like IPAs as much anymore. I used to get them a lot, and I love passion fruit and sours, but like when the passion fruit is derived from the hops, it's just something that's really unique, and it's happening here, and I'm really excited about it. So anyway, let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Chris. This is delicious. Again, it has a passion fruit, or if not a passion fruit, like a lot of times they're intertwined, but it has to be passion fruit. I was gonna say maybe guava, like passion fruit and guava. More often than not, when I get passion fruit and guava, like in a sour, guava usually dominates the passion fruit. So it has a little bit of a guava, but it's more passion fruit. So my mind's thinking, oh, guava should dominate, and it's not, but more passion fruit than guava, but they're like both here. And again, those are two characters I really don't get too often. Mine is higher side of medium, lower side of full, 8%. Kind of the realm of where they're going with their bodies recently. Definitely a bit thicker. The mouthfeel, it's soft, it's smooth, it's creamy. This has like a mild to moderate carbonation. So not like crazy soft on the palate, it's not like pillowy, but it has such a soft, such a smooth, creamy kind of sensation. Really nice. The taste, I'm getting passion fruit, and it's dominating the palate for me. Front to back, passion fruit for sure. It's a little bit of a sweeter, juicy tangerine orange. Definitely orange and tangerine vibes. Halfway through the palate, a little bit of that peach and pineapple. There's a slight green astringency on the back of the palate, very slight. Not really impacting my enjoyment of this beer, but I feel like it's drying out the palate because this is full on dry. Not a lot of bitterness, but this is full on dry for sure. Been a while since the train has made an appearance in my video. I always think like you guys can hear everything that's happening, and I realize that this lav mic does a good job of like blocking out surrounding sound, especially when it's you know, a train in the distance or sirens or whatever. When there's a motorcycle going by, that fucking all bets are off. But I'll be curious if you hear the train. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, very dry. It's pretty sweet the first half to 3/4 of the palate, but it dries out nicely. There is this little bit of like grassy, kind of herbal kind of note on the back of the palate. I'd imagine the Simcoe or maybe the Mosaic is bringing that to the table. Excuse me. Oh, very carbonated, even though it's not. Yeah, I thought there would be maybe more berry here from the Mosaic, maybe a little bit more of that peach kind of stone fruit from the Citra, and the Simcoe maybe adding a little bit more of like a dank quality, but I think the Phantasm, this is another, so just like Undefeated, this is a Phantasm beer where the taste was as good, if not, I think the taste in this one better than the aroma, honestly. 8%, I can't taste it all, no warming in the chest, nothing. This is really good. Is it amazing? It is not, but I think I like it better than the regular Undefeated because it's 8%, and I can't really tell. And I think the Undefeated is impressive because it was 6.5%, very impactful from that percentage. But this is 8%. It doesn't really drink like it from an ABV standpoint, and the flavors are just as good. I think what's putting this one over the top for the regular, from the regular, this one is the passion fruit, or the perceived passion fruit. I love that characteristic, and it's kind of winning me over. So Still Undefeated from Hop Butcher. I have no issues giving this a high 4.25. I'm going to go 4.35. Almost gets in the low 4.4 range. Got taste notes on the back. We'll read here in a second. I'll purposely try not to look at them. But, you know, and it's Dan Jetza. And the other one was kind of similar in terms of the artwork. But, yeah, 4.35 out of 5. Really digging this one. To get into low 4.5 range, I think the aroma would need to be better, but I think maybe a little bit more complexity on the palate would have been nice. But again, I really like the passion fruit. It's 4.35 out of 5. So tasting notes, bright tropical, very generic. But yeah, there is a lot of tropical fruit from the passion fruit, a little bit of that pineapple for sure. Juicy berry, what did I say? There's no berry for me on this, so juicy berry, definitely not for me. Like no berries, no juicy berries, none of that stuff. To me, it's passion fruit. Are you fucking shit? Sweet guava. I'm not tasting guava, I'm tasting passion fruit. I guess we all taste something different, but I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Sweet guava. I would say sweet passion fruit. There's also like a little bit of a tartness that gives me like passion fruit vibes, but sweet guava. All right, I didn't do that good, but you know what? I will say that guava for me is coming off as passion fruit, and I'm here for it. Price point availability. I always say this with these Hop Butcher, but 15, 16 bucks in Chicagoland area. Maybe if it gets distroed to different stores, maybe it's a little bit more. But if it gets distro outside of Chicago, all bets are off. If you buy it online at maybe a random online shop, might be $6, $7 a can, might be $25 4-pack. Who knows? When these show up here locally in the Buffalo, New York area, if you're talking about a 7.5%, 8% double IPA from Hop Butcher, typically $20 to $22. A 4-pack usually $5.50, $6 a can. So that's what I expect when I see it in distro. But I would say this: if I live in Chicago. If I lived in Chicago, I would definitely buy all the Hop Butcher releases because it is what it is. Unless, now, I was just going to go to, no, I meant, where the fuck am I? I don't know where I am. Availability. I just said what the availability was, but what I meant to say is that this might be one of those exclusive releases at the brewery. If it is, then you can't get it outside of the brewery. But I don't know which ones are and which ones are not. So if anybody knows, post in the comment section. Holy shit, I've drank about half of this. I'm feeling it, I guess. But not really. But anyway, if you had this one before, post in the comment section. If you had this and the regular Undefeated, which one did you prefer? I would say, to me, they're two completely different tasting beers. And the regular Undefeated was really impressive for a 6.5% beer. Hop forward beer, hazy beer. This, at 8%, I love that passion fruit, and I can't taste the alcohol, so this wins by default. Anyway, huge thanks to Chris for this one. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.